Aegon is not thinking tactically, he's being impulsive. It's the same old trends.
He's a young guy who was
self-west
not trained to do that. Hello everyone, this is Venus Brown. I'm back with another Inside the Episode. So we just watched episode 3 last night, and today we're going to be watching the House of the Dragon Inside episode 3.
For Rhaenyra, it's a really outlandish risk to try and go to Alicent and say we are the only two people left at either of these councils that have the power, influence, and desire to see about a peaceable end to this thing.
Your false Queen Rhaenyra is a kinslayer.
Your uncle declared for Aegon, did he? Aegon Targaryen is no true king.
The Brackens and the Blackwoods are ancient foes and rivals. One of the big ideas about this series was generational conflict. That's the standing of the Blackwoods and the Brackens when we first find them, which is a sort of microcosm of where House Targaryen is getting to.
They happen to have the two largest armies in the Riverlands. It's 40,000 swords if they all come together under one banner.
I will enlist the Brackens, subdue the Riverlands, and take Harrenhal.
Bold scheme indeed.
Well, the gods favor the bold.
They did not favor Sir Eric.
One of the pivotal scenes is the first day of Cole's work as Hand. We've always seen Cole as a strong, brooding guy. And this was a moment to peel back all those layers and understand what he's like alone in a room with himself.
It's such a massively anxiety-inducing day for him because the Hand of the King is a diplomat's role, and he's always been sworn protector to the Queen. Now that duty of care has been passed on to someone else, and suddenly all eyes are on him. That's a very nerve-wracking thing.
Cole is a terrible choice to be Hand of the King. Aegon's ultimate goal is to have someone who is a feared warrior but not a great politician because he doesn't want to be outshone.
To war, then. I'll come too with Sunfire.
Aegon.
Your Grace.
Aegon has this insecurity that drives a great sense of confidence.
I'm as fearsome as any of them.
In this case, he wants to wear the king's armor. He wants to visually push himself forward as a leader.
Aegon is not thinking tactically, he's being impulsive. It's the same old trends.
He's a young guy who was not trained to do that.
Not a good way for him because he's becoming more aware of how much of a fraud he is. And it's eating him from the inside out.
Daemon, in the most base of ways, has a fight with his wife, gets in his car, and runs off to Harrenhal to conquer it.
Gets in his car and runs off.
His wisdom to try and make
sort
amends,
of.
I think.
His
We've
vehicle.
got to go march on King's Landing. We need an army, and at the moment we don't really have an army.
Daemon is hoping to meet some resistance in there. He's looking for it, but he's frustrated in the fact that he can't find it because the castle is so poorly occupied.
So poorly occupied. So barely occupied.
I'm claiming Harrenhal.
Apparently so.
Simon Strong is Lionel Strong's uncle. He has no loyalty to his family because he is a man of honor and believes that Larys burned his family.
Right. Rightfully so.
Daemon comes in.
That's the kind of
and
family
sees-
member that
And all Sir Simon wants to do is have peace.
gets estranged by all the rest of his family because he's a piece of shit.
The most
Not because he's
interesting part of the
misunderstood,
Harrenhal
but
story
because he is
what
a
it does to
freaking
Daemon.
horrible human
He
being.
starts to have these hallucinations, these dreams. He's not sure what's real and not real. We know that there is a magicality, and all of a sudden he sees young Rhaenyra, and she means something to him. She meant something at that age, and it also told him that it was a dream.
His past is coming back to haunt him in broad daylight.
The real idea was to bring Daemon into contact with something in the supernatural world that he could not deny.
Yeah.
I
He
decided
can't
to
get
send
around
Joffrey to
it.
ward with
He
my
can't
cousin,
deny
Lady Jane
it.
Arryn.
Aegon and Viserys will accompany her.
But he can't explain it with his usual...
Rhaenyra's made this immediate calculation that her family is unsafe. I mean, they got to her in her home, and there's nothing to say that they can't again. I think she sends away her youngest and most vulnerable children to protect them in a place where they're hidden away and hopefully where they can weather the war.
That's gotta be so hard, though.
The endless risk of losing one of your children, I think she perceives to be hideously compromising while she's in that grieving process. There's a decision to try and dislocate herself from her own motherhood. I cannot promise to make you happy, but I ask you, make this sacrifice willingly. For all of us.
Your Grace. I think being in a family that has so much power and feeling so powerless, it's heartbreaking when you have such a want to help. It's like confirmation to Rhaenyra of what she's always feared, that everyone just thinks she's pathetic.
She's also the daughter of Daemon Targaryen and Laena Velaryon, and there's a fire burning in her as well. It's really lit by that resentment of being sent on this mission she regards as a bit demeaning.
You do a great service, and may yet find yourself glad to be...
It is a great service, but I can understand how, like, to her, like, you're being a nanny, basically.
But I think she's also, like, in awe of her. There's always going to be such a love there. Very classic for sisters.
Should all come to ruin here, you will bear our hope for the future.
She also sends away the 3 eggs that Daemon discovered from Syrax's clutch in season 1, and the egg of young Viserys Targaryen as an insurance policy so that all of her eggs are not in the singular Dragonstone basket, hoping that while Lady Jane Eyre wants an adult dragon to defend the Vale, the sons of House Targaryen and multiple dragon eggs will do the job.
What do you know of the movements of Alicent Hightower?
Rhaenyra sees what's coming. She's trying to put an end to it and to beseech Alicent to help her see that through. She sees it as her job as sovereign to risk herself before she risks the lives of possibly millions of the realm.
It's quite a chaotic choice, but Rhaenyra also wants to look the person who's caused her such pain in the face.
When Rhaenyra and Alicent come together, they're right back to that moment where Viserys died.
He changed his mind. I've been at times unkind, but never untrue.
She has to reckon for the first time with the idea that possibly her father changed his mind, that she lost the mandate.
But when Alicent explains that his last wish was that Aegon be king, and she starts talking about the prince that was promised, that's when Rhaenyra realizes that Viserys was talking about the prophecy.
It's a story he once told.
That story and what she's told herself has given her such strength. This just throws Alicent's world into complete chaos.
There's been a mistake.
There's been no mistake.
Please.
Rulers can
I did feel like when they started that conversation, like, it's too bad they didn't have so many more of those conversations, because whenever they have had conversations like this, they've gotten along well. They communicate well, they get stuff across, and if it happened more frequently, then I think they would be more understanding of what's going on with each of themselves.
She feels like her hands are tied.
It's too late, Rhaenyra.
Alicent. That causes her to have to reckon finally with going to war, and suddenly she chooses her title. She doesn't just inherit it.
Alicent and Rhaenyra are both affected by what they have lost and the history that they have with each other. You don't forget it. So the rest of the season is about embracing reality.
Wonder what's coming next episode. I felt like that was a lot, but it also had like a lot of foreshadowing for what's to come that I knew of from the books. But yeah, I know of a few things that need to take place, and I don't remember exactly what order they come in, so we'll have to figure that out later. I was also surprised on episode 2. Yes, I'm stepping back because I forgot to mention it. On episode 2, when they're doing their funeral procession and the cart gets stuck, I really was worried that there was going to be like this big thing would happen. Like the crowds are getting crazy and she's getting obviously uncomfortable. And like I was really worried the crowds and her reaction were going to just come to a head and just really result in something really horrible happening. But it seems like outside of her getting really like probably freaking massive anxiety, outside of that and outside of the wheel getting stuck, it didn't look like it went beyond that. But it did look like it was going to for a while there. But that's all I got for you this week. I will see you next week. Bye. Until next time, I'll see you when I see you. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you want more content, click subscribe. If you click that little bell and click all, then you'll get more content notifications.